Hello, class and professor. My name is Justin Kleeberg, and I will be talking about the development and change of the Great Red Spot. I decided to pick this topic because ever since starting to learn astronomy and learning more from this class alone, Jupiter has become my favorite planet. Coming into this class, I didn't know much about Jupiter at all. I didn't know anything quite about any of the planets, really, besides Earth, obviously. But Jupiter has just stuck out to me the most. Just everything about it just seems so interesting and cool, at least in my perspective. So for the Great Red Spot. The Great Red Spot is just the name of a storm that developed on Jupiter itself. The storm is kind of like any ordinary storm. Um, it runs for miles and miles in length. The cause of the storm is actually due to rapid winds and extremely high temperatures. Temperatures so high that it's much warmer than anything that we have experienced here on Earth. The winds that take place during the Great Red Spot are worse than even a hurricane here on the Earth. The storm originally began in 1665, and it was seen by an Italian astronomer named Cassini. Therefore, the storm has really been around for over 300 years, which dates back to a long time ago. There's no way to tell quite when the storm began, just it was 1665 when the great Cassini discovered it. The way that the storm was spotted and continues to be spotted is actually through a couple of different ways. The first telescope to ever go out to Jupiter and see the Great Red Spot was the Hubble Space Telescope. It was first placed in the atmosphere in 1990. The telescope is famous for finding many different findings in outer space. Many of the findings include black holes, different moons that are around the old planet of Pluto, and scientists even believe that from using the Hubble Space Telescope, the universe is over 1 billion years old. And they tell this from different stars and all different types of things that they found out with the Hubble Space Telescope. So, with finding the Great Red Spot, it was just another achievement that was added to the list of what the telescope has already found and continues to find. I'm sure that they're going to find more information that isn't known yet. The people behind the Great Red Spot were scientists from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. They're the ones that discovered the idea of the Great Red Spot, from the Hubble Space Telescope, and they went furthermore into studying and trying to figure out how it was created, how big it was, all different types of things that would help to get a better understanding of how it continues to increase and decrease in size while maintaining the amount of high winds and temperatures that it currently has. Another spacecraft, which is newer and beginning to give us different looks of the Great Red Spot, is called the Juno. The Juno spacecraft is the newer spacecraft in which is being used to rover around the outside of Jupiter, and it takes images, as which we can see right here, images of the Great Red Spot. Each of these images, you can see that the color and the size seem to be shown better and better quality, and it's just something that the spacecraft is meant to pick up, was just better quality images to get a better idea of the color and the size of the Great Red Spot. I'm sure over years, the more that the spacecraft goes around Jupiter, you're going to see more changes occur, whether it be in the color, the size, the diameter, and you'll see different changes occurring in the Great Red Spot alone. The size of the spot. The Great Red Spot has a name for a reason. It is massive. it is actually extremely huge. It spans roughly for around 10,250 miles across in the diameter. This is insanely large. When it was first discovered, it was considered to be one of the largest spots ever discovered in the atmosphere. Um, Astronomers found out that you could fit the three Earth-sized planets inside the Great Red Spot alone. To put that in perspective, imagine running from the top of the Earth to the bottom of the Earth, then back to the top, and then back to the bottom. The amount of time that it would take you to go from top to bottom, it would be equivalent to the length of the Great Red Spot. Basically, it's extremely huge, and no one would ever even be able to walk from one side to another without facing severe damage, especially from the high temperatures and the wind. Over time, there's been many changes in the size of the Great Red Spot. As of recently, there have been some changes in the pattern of the decreasing size of the spot. Typically speaking, the spot has been decreasing in the width size over the past years. Not drastically, but over years it has been seen to change quite a bit. But recently, there's been another effect in the changing of the size. While the length of the spot may be decreasing, the height of the spot has been increasing, making it less of an oval shape and more of a circular one. While the length is decreasing and the height is increasing, the overall size of the spot is still slowly decreasing, just not at a noticeable rate. The reason for the spot even changing in size is due to the wind shifts that are occurring on Jupiter, which we'll explain in depth more. As a review, from just this one slide, as you'll see, the spot is slowly shrinking. It's just not noticeable enough from picture to picture. All you will see from picture to picture is just that the oval shape will be changing into more of a circular type of shape. How do these changes occur? Well, there's a couple main reasons. The main reason for the Great Red Spot to be changing is actually due to the wind patterns. The horizontal winds are swirling, which just means that they aren't constantly moving in a horizontal motion. The swirling motions tend to move left to right. The vertical winds are weaker, but more important. They keep the Great Red Spot in place, meaning that they allow the spot not to break apart completely. The vertical winds are why the Great Red Spot hasn't gone away completely. They hold the longevity, and they counteract against the swirling horizontal winds. That way the spot stays in its place and doesn't move all around Jupiter. As for the future of the Great Red Spot, there are many question marks that can't be answered. For the most part, scientists have to go off of the trends that have been going with the recent pattern of the spot, which were the decreasing in size but increasing in height, even though the decreasing in size of the Great Red Spot also meant that the actual spot itself was decreasing as well. They believe that the spot will continue to shrink, continue to get smaller in the width and the height, and overall completely. Over the past year, NASA has provided data that has proven that the size of the spot is down 1/3 of its original size, and at least the starting size of what we expect of. The next sighting of the red spot will be April 2018. It will actually be towards the end of this month. And then after that, there's going to be a couple more sightings, which will be in September of 2019 and December of 2020. These dates will be when NASA will gather more data and will have an update on the size of the Great Red Spot. They will be able to tell if it has decreased and by how much. The Great Red Spot isn't something that needs to be worried about just yet, but down the road, if it has completely gone away, then there are going to be many questions that would need to be answered. While the storm is still strong, still very hot, and the winds are still gusting very strongly, the decreasing size has been going on for hundreds of years. Over the next couple of hundred of years, there will be more questions based on the sightings that we will see from the different telescopes that capture different pictures. We will be able to tell if the size is drastically decreasing or if the size is still slowly decreasing at a non-concerning rate. The Great Red Spot definitely is an interesting spot in which helps our scientists understand how temperature, wind, and storm-like conditions could hold such a powerful grasp on that one area for such a long time. With time, with time, we will see if the spot decreases with its recent trends, or if there's a drastic change where the winds happen to suddenly increase in a way that could be harmful to the planet itself, or could eventually lead to the Great Red Spot disappearing. As for the future, we will just have to wait and see until more pictures are released and more data will be thrown out. Thank you again for listening, and hopefully I taught you guys a little about the Great Red Spot.